would mean the world to me. Oh, who's gonna make it come true? Will it be someone like you?
Resolute of heart, make firm thy mind. The tongue of a man is the rudder of the boat, but the Lord of all is its pilot. Cast not thy heart after riches, there's no ignoring fate and destiny. Place not thy thoughts on things outside. Every man is destined for his hour.
On feeling goods where all of your cash went, not chakra alignment or inward refinement. Trying to find one word to describe men. Better yet, can one consciousness unify them? Pondering on these questions is where my time spent. Creative process, believe it. Greatness got to achieve it. Ideas we believe in. Positive mind, gotta reach in it. Putting effort to bring forth this new being. You're not consumed by the lust for things, but knows that his worth is determined by words and deeds. Your mind is affected by words and deeds. Your thoughts are keys to what you're trying to see. And what you're trying to see should be to reach your goals. Hold on to your dreams. Keys open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement or towards the future. Now's your chance, kid. Accept responsibility. Avoid resentment. Actions always take root from what you think about. Things ain't going your way, ain't it hard to figure out why? Oh, why? Ask why. Ain't gotta tell you, it's right in front of your eyes. So in following these principles, you'll find along the road you're the only one responsible for your soul. It's no coincidence. Take control of your life, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. You take control, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Yeah, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Nah, it's no coincidence.
Old shells are highly prized. And this one is occupied by a sarcastic fringehead.
What's up, New Haven? What's up, Facebook? What's up, the audience on the radio and on TuneIn? You're listening to breaking news, absolutely breaking the mainstream media in half, breaking it in half. You know, for those of you who are listening for the first time, I grabbed the headlines, strip it of the left's propaganda, and try to discover the facts in it, if there are any facts in the stories or in the headlines. But all right, let's jump right into it, right? This is from The Hill. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered the Trump administration to continue accepting deferred action for children arrivals, DACA, applications, dealing a major blow to the administration as it attempts to wind down the program. U.S. District Judge John Bates, a George W. Bush appointee, became the third federal judge to reject President Trump's explanation for ending the program, ruling that the decision by the Justice Department that the program was unlawful was virtually unexplained. Trump rescinded DACA in September, giving Congress 6 months to pass legislation in its place. Bates ordered the administration to continue DACA, which gives protection to immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Bates also ordered the administration to accept new applications, a first in the ongoing legal battles over the decision. Bates stayed the ruling for 90 days to give the administration time to come up with a better explanation for ending the program. 2 other judges have issued similar rulings, but have only ruled that the program should be allowed to continue while litigation plays out. Let's see. The fact that it's unlawful isn't a good enough explanation for this judge. Most of these judges these days are activist judges. They're actually going by emotion or their political leanings, whatever it may be. But they're not going by the law. Right? This judge says the fact that it's illegal is not enough. Give me a better explanation. Right? What he says is by the Justice Department ruling that the decision by the Justice Department that the program was unlawful was virtually unexplained. So just saying it's unlawful, but I'm going to explain it to him. I'm going to explain it to everybody, right? Or I'm not. I'm not going to explain it. Let's start with a good explanation here, because I think it's important that you get voices people listen to, right? Voices that people actually see as, you know, a guiding light or truth sayers, even though, you know, some of us know better. But let's listen, because you should be able to recognize this voice.
The problem is that, you know, I'm the President of the United States. I'm not the Emperor of the United States. My job is to execute laws that are passed.
I can't solve this problem by myself. We're going to have bipartisan support in order to make it happen.
We're also a nation of laws. That's part of our tradition. And so the easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws.
That's
Yeah. I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to keep with this video clip, but yeah, the person who actually did the executive order, who for some people think an executive order by Obama is the law. And I say by Obama because I guarantee you they wouldn't think an executive order is the law if Trump did it. Actually, Trump is trying to get rid of an executive order with an executive order. So, let's keep listening. Listen to this dude. I think he knows what he's talking about. He's saying actually doing something like DACA is illegal. He's not. Obama said he wasn't an emperor. He can't just make decisions like that. That has to go through Congress. But let's keep listening.
That's not how our democracy functions. That's not how our Constitution is written. Sometimes when I talk to immigration advocates, they wish I could just bypass Congress and change the law myself. But that's not how democracy works. Now, I swore an oath to uphold the laws on the books.
The problem is...
Yeah, the laws on the books. Imagine that. Obama said he swore an oath to actually uphold the laws on the books. Right? And the laws on the books say something like this, where you're carving out new rules or laws and stuff, has to come from Congress. You can't do this as a president. At least that's what Obama said. And he said doing so would be illegal to go around Congress. Not my words. Not my words.
Listen.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration. And it would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship.
Whoa, wait a minute. Did I just hear that right? Obama said, ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders. What? Wow. I'm not sure if people actually heard these words coming out of this man's mouth. Because they're acting like those same words that come out of our current president's mouth is racist, bigoted, xenophobic, whatever you want to call it. Let's keep going.
And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
What? What? That's from former President Obama, who signed DACA knowing that he shouldn't have. That he didn't have the legal right. But I guess by the time he does it, he knows that there's enough activist judges on the bench to at least draw it out. Right? But I'm sure this judge who ruled that DACA has to restart still doesn't have a good enough explanation. I think the Trump administration should call Obama to the stand and have him explain it. But I'm going to help him out. I'm going to help that judge out. I'm going to see if I'm going to break it down the way I learned it, the way I learned it. Let's see if he understands this.
climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here
on Capitol Hill.
Well, it's a long, long journey to the Capitol.
Oh, you think this is gonna help that judge out? You think that this will help the judge out? He doesn't understand how something becomes law.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat there and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill.
This is interesting, right? I bet there's people out there right now who don't know this. Maybe even a lot of the immigrants. A lot of the immigrants who think they're owed something because they've been hearing or listening to the wrong people. Just a bill. Now keep in mind that Trump had a DACA compromise earlier this year. He tried to more than double the amount that Obama put up for DACA. And the Democrats have been, well, they refused the deal. And it was a simple deal. Let's protect our borders. Exactly what Obama said. We have the right to protect our borders. But I guess there's a lot of confusion out there on how ideas have to first, from ideas, give birth to legislation. And that legislation or that bill has to go up to our president. I don't know. I try to help people out all the time with, some facts. This isn't even opinion. This is facts. These are all facts. I could replay that Obama clip. Maybe I will replay that Obama clip for everybody. Because it has definitely become a hard thing for people to understand. The laws of this nation. And then you have these activist judges standing in the way. What they do is they draw it out. They make this whole resistance of the law a long drawn out process so that it has to go all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court should live up to the Constitution and knock all of this down. Hey, I'm just agreeing with Obama. That's all I'm doing. I'm just agreeing with Obama. You're listening to Breaking News on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
We want an immediate end to the police brutality and mob attacks that our people are confronted by every single day, every single week, every single month.
This used to be the land of opportunity. People used to strive for peace. We don't even use the word unity until them guns release. Young kids dropping out of school, thinking they know it all, don't even know the rules. Grown men want to kill themselves for a cause. Innocent people losing their lives lives in the cross. History repeating itself. What are we doing? The revolution will be televised, still brewing. CNN cameras, satellite coverage. We heading for destruction. Don't forget your luggage. Marvin Gaye's vision. What's going on? Back in 71, it's being reborn. We need to wake up. People getting shot dead. Homie lost his life for doing what the police said.
I just wanna know if we gonna last. The glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know if we gonna last. The glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know. Too much stress, but Lord knows we trying different drama every day. Too many young people dying, having conversations like, what happened to the youth? You really wanna know? We stopped teaching them the truth. Took the power from the parents, took religion out of school. I just watched the fire challenge. Who's raising these fools? Damn. Too many cubs, no lions. Too many broken hearts and families crying. Damn. Will we ever be free at last? The way we going, I don't know if we gon' even last. Martin Luther still having dreams. Listen closely, you can hear the screams. Yeah, violence all across your TV screens. Turning into Malcolm by any means. Yeah, corruption busting through the seams. Hands up, screaming loud, don't kill my dream. If we gonna last, the glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know if we gonna last, the glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it. I just wanna know
what was going through Ali head when he fought, and what they put into his head. Now that's allegedly, of course. I wanna know why them judges bringing books to the court. Strictly the Flinger brother, stripping the child of his child support. He wanna know why his daddy left, but he don't know he mad he left. Now they're in school and he's using aggressive force. I wanna know how you shoot a man unarmed in view of the camera, and they get plastered on the news. That's sticking to the plan, damn, but they don't know, and they don't care where they don't go. But do you blame them? Well, that cognitive dissonance to each your soul, that's how it goes. That's why I'm Garvey like split flip the Molly type, to lift the kids to higher heights. That's it provided right, like Beastman Riders, right? I'm right. A thievery when time is tight. I'm talking land and resources, yeah, the diamond type. Bet you ain't know if you don't think, then you don't grow. That leave you stunted by the liquor store corner screaming.
I just wanna know if we gonna last. The glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it.
I just wanna know.
If we gonna last, the glass is half full, the bottom's coming fast. I just wanna know where's all the justice? Blaming on the system, no we can't trust it.
I just wanna know. All right. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, aka The Brave. All right. Actually, this is from Yahoo News. The guy from Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just the Bill, the one I just played for the judge who doesn't understand law. All right. The guy who wrote it, Bob Dorough, passed away Monday at the age of 94. He said, I wrote songs to entertain anyone from ages 2 to 92. The man he had an uncanny, unmatched genius for making basic topics fascinating and kid-friendly. Condolences to his family and a shout out of remembrance, because I remember that as a child, Saturday mornings, I'm just the Bill, right? So I used it today, but in good fashion, because I know, like I said, there's a lot of confusion these days, and the courts aren't making it any better, because instead of following the law and being that guiding force for the people so that they know where they stand, they're confusing everything with this activism. All right, let's move on. All right, in a big shift. Wait, let me see. I'm reading this from AP News. In a big shift, Trump assesses Kim Jong-un as very honorable. And I was listening to this morning on CNN or MSNBC. No, it wasn't Joe. Joe was... I'm ignoring Joe Scarborough now in the morning Joe crew, because I prefer to see CNN and Fox News, and I bounce around on both of those. And, you know, to be honest, Channel 8, because I like local news too. So, but watching this morning on the news and on CNN, they were going crazy because now Trump called Kim Jong-un honorable. After all the names he called him, Little Rocket Man, and now suddenly he's calling him honorable. What is going on? This is why we can't take anything the president says as serious. Oh my God. It's like, really, it's to the point where the media, I think they get more ratings if they disagree. Or they trying to make get more ratings by disagreeing. It's like they don't have the capacity to understand anything themselves. They take everything out of context. Like if comments can be made for different situations. Situationally, you could comment on different things, right? You could be a nut on this and reasonable on that and honorable on the current state of affairs with North Korea, where they're saying they want to denuclearize. Oh my God. I sound like George, but nuclearize. Nuclear. Anyway, so in current negotiations with Kim Jong-un, who we know and who Trump has called out for being a monster and torturing his people and everything. But in the current state of negotiations, everything he said in the last month, he's lived up to. He said he was going to suspend this. He's going to stop testing rockets. And he's honored those words. Trump is not saying that everything this guy's done in his life is honorable. And I know the media is smart enough to understand that. But the problem is that they don't think you're smart enough to understand the context. So what they do is because they know you're not going to spend more than 8 seconds on it. So in that 8 seconds, they give you their propaganda on the issue. So they go, Trump is now saying Kim Jong-un is honorable. Oh my God. You're better than that. You need to show the media you're better than that. Don't let them keep lying to you. You're listening to Breaking News on WNHH-LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna go nowhere. Some other niggas fall away, cause you found a better one. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna let you fall away. Oh. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. 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 When I'm up, I still ride for you. Only girl that I want is you. I ain't looking, but I still found you. Show you something others again can't do. Oh, Got me feeling no way when they say you the same ain't in their head. So don't go away, I ain't gonna let you go away. I'ma keep you right here to myself. I ain't trying to show no one else. We can keep it on the low, but you can still let them other taking up. Tell me why you playing with it. I'm just trying to tell you I ain't playing with it. Them other niggas lying with it. I'ma show you that I ain't the same with it. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna go nowhere. Tell mother singing the fall away, cause you found a better one. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna let you fall away. Oh, I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. 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 She said she got a new thing. The way she got me feeling got me dropping on my blue decks. I'm just tryna do things. Get you over here, I'ma show you us a few things. She said she wanna roll, we can go anywhere that you wanna go. She said she wanna be next to me. Ain't no other place you rather be. Got me feeling up when I'm with you. Wanna feel you up when I'm with you. Feeling like a drive when I'm with you. Wonder where you at when I'm with you. And I ain't gonna lie, the way you got me feeling, I'ma take my time. And I ain't gonna lie, girl, you got me feeling your vibe. Oh, I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna go nowhere. Tell my mother singing fall away, cause you found a better one. I don't wanna let you fall away. I don't wanna let you fall away. Oh, I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch. I'm thinking about when we gon' touch.
Why are you right? Yes, you, conservative person. Can you answer that question? I think it's so important that I wrote a book about it. How to be right. The art of being persuasively correct.
From PragerU.
Because if you can't be persuasive about why you are right, then we, the United States of America and the Republic for which it stands, are the lost. So here's the simple answer to why you are right. It is a more practical, generous, and compassionate way to live. Let me explain. There have been a bunch of academic studies on how those on the left and right approach problems. They pretty much all come to the same conclusion. The right tends to be risk-averse, more concerned about external threats, like tyranny and terror. Conservatives, get this, tend to be conservative. They're less likely to play with fire in just about every sense, financially, artistically, sexually. They're cautious about changing traditions, sometimes to a fault, which is why they cling to that crazy constitution they like so much, and to their guns and their religion. We conservatives also focus on what we can fix and accept what we cannot, which is one of the many reasons we're not obsessed over global warming. With radical Islam, we know what the threat is, and that it's a lot worse than a few missing polar bears. I know that makes me sound mean. Sorry, polar bears. Liberals, the research tells us, are generally more outgoing, more likely to try new stuff. They're open to new ideas, though not school choice or flat taxes or a market-based healthcare reform, and are less likely to feel threatened by unfamiliar things. This is why, in general, they seem to have more fun. They're more likely to try drugs, for example, which is fine as long as they don't end up throwing up in my toaster. In short, liberals are pretty liberal. They feel free to take risks that the risk-averse usually end up paying for over and over, which explains the necessity for conservatism. We are the cleanup crew. Liberals may seem to have more fun, and many do, but according to polls, they aren't as happy as conservatives. And with all the fun they're having, I've never quite figured out why the angriest people I've encountered in my life have been liberals. Maybe it's because short-term fun doesn't translate into long-term happiness. Marriage, families, and religion do that, and those are the things conservatives most value. Liberals tend to live for now, conservatives for later. A risk-averse conservative is more likely to save money. He is more likely to protect his investments. He is more likely to protect property and advocate for rule of law and preservation of individual protections. And he offers no excuses for looting. Instead, he empathizes with the Asian, Arab, and black small businessman whose convenience store, laundry, or restaurant goes up in flames during the riot that liberals reflexively endorse as an understandable response to injustice. Of course, conservatives aren't risk-averse in everything, but they take risks with their own lives, not with the society. Conservatives risk all to build businesses. That risk, however, is rooted in a fact-based belief, not faith, in the free market. If people want the product or service you're supplying at the price you're asking, you will succeed and the risk will pay off. Over time, it's conservative risk-taking that creates a civilization by building families, businesses, and nations, all of which creates more wealth, wealth that can then be used to help those in need. You need money to make money, but you also need money to give money. Conservatism makes what liberalism takes. So, for example, for liberals to get their minimum wage hike, first we need conservatives to build businesses, to think like businessmen, to sacrifice their own salaries in order to pay others, to sleep on floors, if necessary, in order to break even. Then, when they make a profit and things are going great, when the calm sets in, liberalism can appear and say, how dare you not pay these people a living wage? Once the tables are full of diners and bills are being paid, and you're thinking about opening a second joint, liberalism arrives to demand its cut. Think of it as a protection racket, sort of like the Gambino family, but without loyalty, job prospects, and tracksuits. In short, conservatism doesn't compete with liberalism, it sustains it. Without conservatism, there is no liberalism. And so when a liberal asks you, why are you a conservative? Simply say, so that you can be a liberal. I'm Greg Gutfeld.
Conservatism makes what liberalism takes. That's a good explanation right there. Right? And in with that in mind, let's look at Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders unveils plan to give every American a guaranteed income. That's an interesting plan. Never mind Finland right now is Finland announced that they're getting rid of their permanent income because what they're trying to wean people off of the state aid because people decided they were just not going to work with permanent income. Why would you? So Finland is actually getting rid of its permanent income, but Bernie Sanders thinks it's a good idea for here, the United States, right? And his aide was actually asked yesterday, I think it was, at a conference, how are we gonna pay for this? And I always love Bernie because at least he's honest and real. They don't know how they're gonna pay for it. We'll worry about that later. But it's interesting. I think I think Bernie's trying to buy you off now. They're gonna give you stuff until they can't give you it anymore, and they're Venezuela, right? That's what happened with Venezuela. Right? We're gonna move to socialism, a utopia, and everybody's gonna live off of the government until there's nobody giving the government funds in order to fund the people who are staying home. It's an impossible goal, which keeps failing, by the way. The thing is, the Democrats here say, aha, we're going to do it different. But they're not. They're following the same playbook. The same exact playbook. take from those who have and give to those who don't have until those that have no more. And then what happens? You're listening to Breaking News on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Yes, sir. It's always love and war. Huh? I'm sick and tired of all of your hateful shit. All your accusing got me losing my patience, shit. Though I don't wanna leave, I think we need space, shit. Now I'm debating if I'm gonna replace this chick. But I'll be wrong if I up and replace this chick. Find another that's a loving and grateful chick. Remember when you said you wasn't no basic chick? Please, it's always love and war and relationships. Back and forth, me and her on the same issue. Language disgusting, feeling like I can't take this. Breakup to makeup soundtrack is my playlist. The pastor, the preacher, please somebody save it. To save us, enough's enough is what she's saying to me. But then it turn into love when she be laying with me. And then it turn into lust because we both don't have trust. We sip and roll up them drugs, hoping it make us both numb. A star in the sky, see you from afar. But up close, I see a black rose and broken heart. You're scarred. I'm trying to heal your wounds, but you treat me like dirt and want my stick as your broom. It's too soon. Or maybe shouldn't happen at all. We love less, plus you building up your walls. The road is getting rottish. I know I'm built tough, but enough is enough. We've had enough. Enough is enough. Enough. Now it's time to go. Enough is enough. Love don't live here, no. We have enough. Enough is enough. Now it's time to go. Love don't live here, no. I remember when she loved me, but nowadays nothing right. All we do is fight, and everything to you's a lie. My love was never good enough, so why bother? Funny how I treat your child better than the father. How you got love for something you don't believe in? That's not love at all, that's deceiving. And anytime a problem occurs, you up and leave him. Couple days pass, you realizing you need him. You ask me, that signs are misleading. But you're more concerned with assuming I'm mistreating. You thinking that I'm scheming on any missus that greets me. But I ain't never fond of a kitty that's hella easy. And I ain't gotta swear before God so you believe me. I just swear to God when I'm gone, you gon' need me. And next time you all alone and uneasy, just know I had enough enoughs, please believe me. We've had enough. Enough is enough. Enough. Now it's time to go. Enough is enough. Love don't live here. We've had enough. Enough is enough. Now it's time to go. Love don't live here. Enough is enough. Now it's time to go. Love don't live here no more. No more.
You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave. All right, let's move on to the next headline from the Washington Times. Jim Acosta says voters too stupid to grasp Trump Act. The elevator might not hit all floors. So, reporter Jim Acosta says too many Americans can't see through President Trump's act because they don't have all their faculties. CNN chief White House correspondent and network colleague April Ryan sat down with Variety this week to discuss reporting on the White House in an era of fake news accusations. The network duo expressed concern that Mr. Trump and his rhetorical tentacles will cause anarchy around the globe. Oh my God. Talk about bomb throwers. So, because Trump calls them out, CNN has been wrong a lot. Look, go and check how many times CNN has been right. It hasn't been often. They're worried about Trump causing anarchy around the world. This is CNN. And Acosta is the chief White House correspondent? Somebody who hates the president? This is exactly what I've been talking about. The people who are reporting, who are supposed to be reporting the news, are talking about anarchy around the globe because of Trump. This is insane. And then, believe me, when he says that Trump supporters don't have all their faculties or that the elevator doesn't hit every floor, believe me when I say this, he doesn't just think Trump supporters are stupid. The reason he thinks they're stupid is because they don't follow him. They don't just fall in line. They aren't enslaved to the propagandist message coming out of CNN. That's the reason he thinks they're stupid. But I guarantee that he thinks the Democrats who do follow are stupid enough to follow. This man is ridiculous, and CNN should reassign him. CNN should reassign him because he's doing an injustice for the people and for their network. It's ridiculous. But let's move on to another headline. Here was a good one here. Macron, the French president, I think his name is Emmanuel Macron. Now, if you remember, when Trump and Macron first met, I think over there in Europe, the news was they have a contentious relationship. They don't like each other, and now the media is going crazy right now because they're having basically a love affair here with them to, bromance. They're getting along so well. And Macron, who, who criticized Trump on the Paris Accord that he pulled out of, and now Trump is talking about getting rid of the Iran deal. And he's criticizing for that, but now Macron is kind of softening. Right? And he's telling Trump, let's read, which is what Trump said when he pulled out of the Paris Accord. Let's renegotiate it. Don't just pull out, let's renegotiate. He's saying the same thing about Iran now. Well, let's figure out a way. Let's take care of the concerns of this president. Let's renegotiate it. Let's not just smash it, which is what Trump is always willing to do, renegotiate the bad deals, which he's been saying all along. The Obama administration got into horrible deals. The Paris Accord had us paying for everything under the sun for everybody else. Same thing he did with NATO. Right? He's people are like, oh my God, he's getting rid of NATO. No. Trump goes hard. That's his method. He goes in hard, gets everybody's attention, and then draws them in, like he's doing to Macron right now. Macron loves him. He draws them in and he's able to renegotiate everything. NATO, the countries of NATO are paying their fair share now. And now Macron is softening on everything. He's willing to renegotiate everything now. Sounds like Trump is doing a hell of a job. Sounds like our president is getting an amount of respect that our last president didn't get. And imagine if the negotiations with North Korea results in North Korea giving up their nuclear program, coming into, I would say back into the world, but they've been so far removed, coming to the light and actually helping them actually discover capitalism, making them a South Korea. That young man over there, Kim Jong-un, he's only 30 years old. There might be a way to appeal to that youth and remold his way of thinking. And it seems like our president is doing a hell of a job. Remember where everybody was scared that Trump was driving us into a World War III, a nuclear war? And now it looks like it's the complete opposite. You have to give credit where credit is due, people. You've been listening to breaking news, absolutely breaking the mainstream media on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven, here on Elm Street. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio. You can get that TuneIn Radio app. You get it on your iPhone, on your iPad, on your Samsung phone, any Android phone, any Android tablet. You have now TVs with Android built into them. You could get that TuneIn app on those smart TVs too, and sit home and listen to our shows, right? And we're also streaming live on NewHavenIndependent.org. We're streaming live video on Facebook Live right now for those people watching me right now, right? For those who don't know how to get there, go to Facebook.com/New Haven Independent, or go to your Facebook page, and in that search bar, plug in that New Haven Independent. You'll see us pop up. Like us, share us. When you go to follow us, click on See First so you never miss one of our shows. I will see you, or you will hear me, Friday, 12 noon with Joe Ugly. Once again, you've been listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave. See ya!
Be resolute of heart. Make firm thy mind. The tongue of a man is the rudder of the boat, but the Lord of all is its pilot. Cast not thy heart after riches. There's no ignoring fate and destiny. Place not thy thoughts on things outside. Every man is destined for his hour.
I'm feeling goods where all of your cash went. Not chakra alignment or inward refinement. Trying to find one word to describe men. Better yet, can one consciousness unify them? Pondering on these questions is where my time spent. Creative process, believe me, greatness got to achieve it. Ideas we believe in, positive mind, gotta reach in it. Putting effort to bring forth this new being. You're not consumed by the lust for things, but knows that his worth is determined by words and deeds. Your mind is affected by words and deeds. Your thoughts are keys to what you're trying to see, and what you're trying to see should be to reach your goals. Hold on to your dreams, keys open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement or towards the future. Now's your chance, kid. Accept responsibility, avoid resentment. Actions always take root from what you think about. Things ain't going your way, it ain't hard to figure out. Why? Oh, why? Ask why. Ain't gotta tell you, it's right in front of your eyes. So in following these principles you'll find along the road, you're the only one responsible for your soul. It's no coincidence. Take control of your life, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. You take control, no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Yeah, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. Nah, it's no coincidence.
Old shells are highly prized. And this one is occupied by a sarcastic fringe.
But an empty space where once was a
Hi, this is Bella, and you are listening WNH8 LP 1 O 3.5 FM New Haven streaming live at www.
New Haven Independent.
No, Sherry. Yeah.
Perfect. .org.
.org.